Heading back to an earlier story, voting stations have opened in Nkutu for by-elections today. This northern KZN municipality had its council collapsed 6 months ago. Today, over 80,000 Nkutu residents are expected to cast their vote, choosing amongst 14 political parties. The fiercely contested municipality last year suffered a failed coalition government after the municipal elections. By-election results are expected to be out by tomorrow morning, with the major competitions being among the IFP and the ANC. To provide further details and clarity, we are joined by IEC KZN head Mawetu Moseri. He joins us over the phone line. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us here on ANN7. Now, voting stations have opened this morning. Just talk us through whether there has been any challenges experienced in the planning or in the actual voting so far today.
Good afternoon to you and your viewers. I do confirm that all our 116 voting stations are operating in Motu municipality, and we opened them at 7 a.m. We will close them at 7 p.m. This evening. At this point, our operations and our logistics are holding. We have no issues as the Electoral Commission in as far as the operation of voting stations. In the voter turnout, it's looking good. There's a lot of activity now at voting stations, plus also political parties are out there ensuring that voters do get to the stations during the day. So we are hopeful that the environment will remain as stable and peaceful as it is, encouraging for higher voter participation.
Reports are suggesting that over 80,000 residents are expected to cast their votes today. Will those results be available by tomorrow morning, as reports are suggesting?
That is correct. We will start the count at about 7:30 this evening, and we have to allow it will take us to about midnight when we count at vote. And then the collation of those results will take place from 1 a.m. Tomorrow morning till about 6 a.m. Hope to the vote tally process at 6 a.m. and we do the seat allocation around 10 a.m. So we will release the result tomorrow for the community.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Moseri, for your time and for providing clarity on these issues. We appreciate you talking to us. I do apologize for the phone line connection there, not the best. That was IEC KZN head Mawetu Moseri joining us on the phone line there, just to talk us through and confirming that the voting stations opened this morning in Nkutu, and stating that those results are indeed confirmed to be available tomorrow morning. But stay tuned to ANN7 for all the latest details and developments. Moving on, Denel acting CFO Odwa Matlawane says the state-owned company needs to get into the export market if it is to stop being a drain on state coffers. The acting CEO made the statement during a portfolio committee meeting on public enterprises. MPs took the opportunity to cross-question the representatives of Denel, with IFP's Narendra Singh asking what VR Laser would be doing that Denel cannot do on its own. The DA's Mazzoni accused Denel of being captured and tasked the CEO with persuading her that it is not. Former Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan also challenged Denel representatives, saying that changes in board and executives is a pattern created as part of state capture. Well, let's go live to those proceedings now to take a listen in to what is being discussed.
Of Denel Asia to then say there is a capture. There was a thorough process by the former public protector to investigate if there is something wrong with this particular contract with VR Laser or any other contract. Denel fully cooperated in the process and invited the public protector, and Denel opened everything and submitted every document required. The report as it stands today, from the public protector, did not make any adverse finding towards Dineo. The report indicated that there should be a second phase of the investigation by the Office of the Public Protector, which will also include the allegations made against Dineo. So, going to what Honorable Singh said, that it is the responsibility of this committee to also interrogate that report and to see to what extent our state-owned companies are implicated and how that situation can be dealt with. But for Dineo's sake, the board made a decision to say to the executive, this contract, allegedly the public protector is saying it must be investigated in the second phase of the investigation. We want an investigation to see if there's anything wrong with that contract, because when that contract was entered, we were not there. It is not like it was presented to the board and we had a discussion on it. We were not there. We were there when a decision to form Dineo Asia was made. And as the CFO had indicated, the business, Dineo Asia, there were a number of reasons why we entered into that relationship. Those set of specific answers the CFO will give to you. It was a big decision. We were into that relationship to make good business for Dineo. However, after the 29th January, when the announcement was made of Dineo Asia, it came at the same time when the allegations of state capture were surfacing and gaining momentum. And the transaction again fitted the narrative that this organization has the relationship this way, this organization is captured. I know it's very difficult to find a battle of perceptions. It's very difficult. And that is where we find ourselves as Dineo, that there are all these perceptions about us. And unfortunately, all these perceptions are not born out of facts. Most of the perceptions are as a result of the fake news that is feeding our country. And unfortunately, from where we sit, it's very difficult to deal with every single fake news that comes on our way. I think for members, whatever the issues relating whether we are captured or not captured, which obviously the answer is a no, no, no. We run a business in the best interest of the Republic. We run the business in compliance with our regulatory environment. The statement which was referred as the chairperson of the NCCA, Minister Hadebe, that there are orders of billions and billions which that committee processes. But I think members must understand that defense business is a business of long contracting. The contracts take 5, 10 years. And in the process of executing that contract, you have to fund the product that you are making. And again, it creates liquidity issues. You're getting paid in full after 10 years, after 5 years. But you have to make sure that whatever product you're developing for the customer is done. Therefore, that's why Denel has to make sure that it has got good relationship with investors, which includes the banks, so that we are able to generate funding so that we can sustain this business. As I said earlier, Denel is government in business of arms. And apart from the government guarantees, which we obviously would want to get it reduced, Denel has to find the resources to fund this business. It's not a business where you have got a shareholder recapitalization. The shareholder does not inject funds in the process. The shareholder has injected 1.8 billion in guarantees. So these are challenges when we sit as we run this business, that we need to take decisions that are not necessarily easy to make, because we've got to protect the interest of this business. This takes us to the Denel Asia, because Denel Asia primarily was an opportunity for us to enter into that space. I think the CFO explained amongst the rationale was we 15 years ago or more or less.
Chairperson, sorry for interrupting. We do not have enough time. Can you wrap up your response so that we give to the CEO? Please, Chair. And get specific just to the questions related to you. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair. I'm sorry. Through you, Chair. Honourable members, I think we need to request Denel not to debate with the committee. There are factual questions that were raised. Is laser owned by what we call Denel? Can list a number of other facts that were there. All that they need to do is to respond to facts, and then the committee will reach its own determination. Not to engage in debate with the portfolio committee. There are facts, and based on you responding factually to those facts, the committee is able to engage amongst itself.
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the committee and the Honourable as they relate to correct.
Denel making submissions and answering some tough questions in Parliament with regards to its deals and links to VR Laser Asia. Earlier, Denel acting CFO Odwa Mtwana said that the state-owned company needs to get into the export market if it is to stop being a drain on state coffers. The acting CEO made the statement during a portfolio committee meeting on public interests. A lot of questions being asked and state capture coming to the fore yet again. Also issues around the contract between Denel and VR Laser Asia and the details of that contract. And now also stating and touching on certain perceptions that have been created and formulated around the company. But we are going to keep you up to date with the latest details and developments here. Stay tuned to ANN7. But for now, let's go back to those live proceedings.
As part of the approval processes, Honourable Member. The second key question you asked was around the risks that that report identifies as it relates to the concept of politically exposed persons. And the answer to that question, Honourable Member, is probably slightly setback to do. To deal with this particular issue. And the reason why I say this is we do business with governments. That's our business. We sell arms to governments. We don't sell arms to private people or statutory organizations such as the United Nations. So we deal with governments. And in the export environment, as I did mention, in the export environment, and I will come back to this question because there's a question that's specifically relating to it.